What's up, guys? We are back once again on this lovely Thursday with episode 40 of the Super Deformed Gamescast. And this is a really cool episode, you guys, because we have a very big guest, one of our biggest guests yet. We'll introduce everybody in just a second, but as always, I am one of your hosts, John, at Mr. Megadev on Twitter. Before we get into our big guest, who I'm sure you guys have already guessed who it is because he's sitting right there on Skype, but we're going to go down the line anyway. Brandon, the most eligible bachelor on the podcast, is with us once again, as always. He is not yet to miss an episode. What's up, buddy?
Hey, how's it going?
And we have the calmest man in video games, Steve, right next to him. What's up, man? I'm glad you could make it.
What's up?
Is Doc here or not?
Yeah, I'm here.
Doc is here. Okay, awesome. Our favorite developer, Doc, is here. Al, the drunk cat himself, master of gifts. What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
And JT, the rocket squirrel, who looks like he's playing Rocket League right now.
No, I'm totally not playing Rocket League right now.
You are so full of crap. You are a liar. And our very special guest tonight, Kyle Bossman, formerly of Game Trailers and currently of Easy Allies. Man, it is a real honor to have you on the show.
It's funny to be called the biggest guest. I don't feel like a big get yet.
Well, I'll tell you what. As far as we're concerned, you're a pretty big get. So far,
Cool.
I mean, you know, like so far, I say right next to Mike Huber.
Well, Shinobi has more followers on Twitter.
Yeah.
I will say that. Yeah,
He's
yeah.
not Patreon. He's not Patreon funded.
Brandon, and with that, like we just see Kyle's picture disappear from Skype, and he's gone.
Okay.
Well done, well done. But anyway, seriously, man, really awesome for you to agree to come on our humble little podcast. Look at that, we've already got some people in chat. So guys in chat, we're glad that you were here with us. We had a few people submit questions for Kyle on Twitter. I picked the best of the lot. We'll go through those later at the end of the show. And anybody in chat who wants to ask a question, please, as always, feel free to jump in.
Stay in place.
Are you having problems, dude?
There we go.
You sound really good though, man. Is that your new mic?
Yeah,
He's got the same mic as I do.
I just got to try to get it to stay in place.
Just
now.
hold it like you're being interviewed.
Yeah, that's a good idea. All right.
What I did, Brandon, for my headset is I made a perfect L out of it. You can't hear me.
Oh, I can hear
There you
you.
go.
I can hear you, baby. Loud and
Okay,
clear.
I said I made a perfect L with mine, and that just stays at the right spot.
Good Kush.
I'll fuck with it afterwards.
Good Kush in chat says Z Huge cries in the corner. He should not cry because he is an honorary member of the podcast, so there's no reason for Z Huge to cry. So, all right. So, Kyle, what we normally do at the start of the show is we talk about everything that we've been playing this week. And since
Cool.
you are a guest, and I am as polite a host as I could possibly be, why don't you start off by telling us what you've been playing this week, man?
All right. So this week I wrapped up Kirby Planet Robobot. Finished that,
Excellent.
and that is a pretty cool game.
I have never played a single Kirby game ever.
I played that in Best Buy today. I played the demo of
You're
it.
missing
There's a
out,
little
man.
kiosk set up.
Yeah.
There is some amazing Kirby games.
It's hard to explain the appeal of a Kirby game. It is there's a lot of puzzles to it that I really like. I dig the weird introduction of elements in its game design. The way it'll throw a little fire guy at you at the beginning of the level, and then okay, I'm gonna use this fire guy a lot throughout this level, and the wheel guys. Planet Robobot though is another 3DS filler game. I love it to
Pronounce
death.
the title differently every time.
Yeah.
The title is fantastic.
Robobot. Yeah, it's good. But it's for Kirby fans. You should definitely play Triple Deluxe first, is how I feel about it. It's just kind of an add-on to Triple Deluxe.
Did you like Canvas Curse?
No.
No? Okay. That's my favorite
Kyle's
one.
just like, no, I didn't. Absolutely
Was Canvas
not.
Curse the first DS one?
Maybe, but it was the one where you drew on the
drew-
Draw
screen.
line. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I loved. Oh, that game was amazing.
So
Yeah.
Anytime I can't press A to jump, I'm out.
Yeah.
is this
That makes sense.
Is this a Wii U game or a 3DS game?
3DS game.
3DS game. Okay.
Yeah.
I've got a 3DS sitting in the corner collecting dust. I haven't played it in 6 months. I feel
wow.
terrible for it too. I feel bad about that. I really, really do.
No, you don't.
I do because there's a lot of games on there that I've never finished Resident Evil Revelations. I never finished it, and I'm a huge Resident Evil fan, and so I've got that sitting around on my 3DS. I've got Super Smash Brothers sitting around. I think the last time I played Smash Brothers was when Cloud came out. I screwed around with Cloud for a while because I was just freaking out that I could beat up freaking Mario with Cloud, or I was just like, oh, this is amazing. But after that, I kind of put it aside because it has been just an absolute deluge. I don't know how to pronounce that name. I'm a Marine of games. Is it deluge? Is it deluge? Deluge? I don't know,
I think
man.
it's Deus Ex.
Deus.
Do sex.
I find if you say it with confidence, it sounds right.
Yes.
Fine. You know what? There's been a deluge of games this year.
Ooh, yeah.
It's been a total deluge. But cool, awesome. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to check that out. The only problem for me is that my backlog is absolutely ridiculous right now. And speaking of backlogs, JT nodding his head over there. I'm curious, JT. Right. So before you get into what you've been playing this week, what was the last game you finished?
Oh, okay. That's kind of easy. Virtue's Last Reward.
Okay, all right. I thought I stumped you there for a minute.
You did for a second. But if I wouldn't have been trying to get that done with before Zero Time Dilemma came out, I wouldn't have known. But I have been playing a lot of stuff. I've been traveling a lot lately, so I'll just run down the list real quick. I made a little one, but like Lego Star Wars came out. That one's awesome. The Vita version doesn't suck, which I'm super happy
that's
about.
Good, yeah,
That's great.
I love being on Vita Island.
Yeah, exactly. It's chilling back there on the bed.
Vita Island.
Right there. Yep. So that's I've also played PO-op, as I call it, with Jeff the other night. we played co-op on SharePlay, and
You're such a loser,
it's really
man. I
good.
love it.
You should trademark PO-op and sell
You
it to
really
the
should,
Star
yeah.
Wars
I
guys.
think the name Poe is already trademarked, so I don't know about that.
But is PO-op?
Po-op.
PO-op.
Dude.
Yeah, it's
mean,
PO-op. Yeah.
Two Poes.
But I've been playing, let's see, God Eater Resurrection. It's the Monster Hunter clone type thing, but it's kind of like a mesh between Monster Hunter and Soul Sacrifice. And Soul Sacrifice is one of my favorite games
Soul
ever.
Sacrifice is a great game. Yeah.
Oh, so the atmosphere in those games are awesome. I've been playing a little bit of Persona 4.
Okay,
Golden.
JT, this is why you don't finish any games.
I know. I just like
How
hopping
many
around.
games you
play?
I hop around
Like-
so much, especially because I have like 12 games just staring at me on the Vita. I'm like, I want to play this one. I want to play that one.
This is
I
why.
wish I had that problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
it's bad.
did you actually finish Uncharted 4?
Not yet.
Oh my
Oh,
god, dude.
God.
I mean, it's not that. It's not that.
Okay,
long.
see,
like
my
16
explanation is I was waiting for the patch to come out that would disable the motion blur. That's my
Okay.
excuse.
Yeah, that came out
That's
today
fair.
actually,
I
didn't
think
it?
that's
Yeah.
fair,
Yeah, exactly.
So
That's
you better have
actually
it beaten by tonight.
that's
good
actually
thing.
not. Yeah, I might have to play some Uncharted tonight and see what that's like.
Yeah.
Kyle's
what
like,
I haven't been
Kyle's like,
playing-
I'm done with these guys.
I'm out.
We're
I'm
out.
Yeah.
See
See
you
you
later.
guys.
What I haven't been playing though, most importantly, is Zero Time Dilemma. As much as I've talked about it the last few weeks, as much as I've
haven't
been
shut
so
up
hyped to
about
play it. Yeah. So if anybody doesn't know, which if you follow me, you probably know by now, the shipment was delayed for the collector's edition and
On Amazon.
On Amazon, yes. The GameStop people, I think they have their games, and so like the watches were damaged in transit, and the game was not. So like Axis, the publisher, was like, okay, separate the game and the watch. It's like a little collectible watch that is used in game, and then just send the games out. And Amazon's like, okay, and they didn't tell us until Thursday. That was yesterday. No, Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday.
That
Wednesday
was
was yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, like, there's a delay there. Like, Axis was saying this as soon as, like, I think it was like Sunday or Monday. It's like, okay, Amazon's, taking care of it. They're going to ship the games out. But they never did. And then they told us just yesterday what was going on. And I still haven't got a shipment notification.
Did you get the $10 or whatever in your account?
Got the $10, but honestly, I'd like,
Yeah, I
would
know.
pass
It's
up
not
the $10 just to be able to play
Not
the
the
damn
damn
thing. on there.
watch. It should have been a
Yeah.
tracking number for your watches.
I just
So you don't have the game or the watch right now?
Correct. Yep. I don't have
Oh,
either
man,
of them.
That's ridiculous,
Okay.
dude.
Brutal.
I just asked
Yeah.
you what you
Yeah.
were playing. How did we get here?
I don't know.
I have no idea either. You're cut off, JT. This is too much.
Okay.
Al, what are you playing this week?
I got a digital copy of Zero Time Dilemma that I haven't started yet on
Don't tell me
Steam
that.
because I haven't started it yet, but only because I've been going back to Darksiders 2. The Definitive Edition came out, and I noticed that I had the original Darksiders 2 in my Steam account, so I could just upgrade to the Definitive Edition for like $3. So that was cheaper than me buying the game on PS4, which is what I was going to do anyways. So I started all over again. Game is fantastic.
I'm thinking about it. Yeah, you know what, dude? Like
I honestly don't. I'm sorry. Oh, can go.
No. Go ahead, man. I was just gonna say I honestly need to try that.
Oh, I honestly don't remember why I stopped playing it on 360. I mean, there's not a lot of downtime in the game from what I've played through of it. I'm 22 hours in, and I just got to Earth. Not to ruin anything, but like, that's about 3/4 of the way through the game.
I was gonna
like,
say it's a
22 hours, and that's insane.
Well, I mean,
there's tons of stuff.
Well, I mean, if it's anything like the first one, it pulls a lot from Zelda, right?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's why I jumped in after seeing Breath of the Wind, Breath of the Wild, or Breath of the Wind.
Breath of the Wild, right?
Wow.
Breath of the Wild,
Something like
Wild.
Wild.
That's
Okay.
gonna get confused. So people are just gonna call it
Yeah.
BOTW.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna call it Zaruda. But after seeing all that, I just wanted to play a nice Zelda clone, and I've completely beaten Okami to death. I love Okami, but I wanted to try something. I wanted to go back to Darksiders, and I'm glad I did. I've just been playing that for, like I said, 22 hours, and I don't think I'm going to stop until it's completely done.
Can we have a short conversation about, you made me curious, where to buy Zero Time Dilemma? You said you got it on Steam.
Yeah.
Is it not worth it to get it on 3DS? Is that stupid?
The only thing about the 3DS version is the graphics are severely lacking compared to the other two versions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Steam looks, I think Steam looks exactly like the PS or the Vita, basically, but just up-resed, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And the only thing that gives me pause about the 3DS version as well is Virtue's Last Reward had some pretty brutal glitches late in the game that would like corrupt your save. So that's kind of like put me off of like buying any of the Zero Escape games on 3DS.
Cool.
So.
Before this podcast, I was hovering over the purchase actually on the 3DS store. I guess I'll go.
I mean, I've heard no bad things about it on 3DS yet. I just, and previously that's how it's been. So I kind of avoided those versions.
Cool.
Okay, awesome. And Doc, what are you playing this week, man? Well, actually, you know what? A better question for you probably is, what are you working on this week?
You cut out.
Can you hear me?
I think he was gonna say, "What are you working on?"
What are you working on this week, as opposed to what you're playing? I'm more interested in what you're working on.
That's not a fun discussion. Fixing Unreal Engine. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
I'm working on making Unreal Engine not suck. Other than that, I mean, the game I'm playing the most is read YouTube comments, where I spend a really long time making a YouTube video, and then, people comment on it, and that's been an interesting experience. Most of the comments are good. Even the ones that disagree are like, "Wow, I'm glad you put a lot of thought in this." Blah 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 blah. So that was really encouraging. I think I have 5,300, 5,400 views for a first video in a couple days. I think that's pretty good for somebody who's never made a video before.
Well, I actually
what's it about?
Yeah, tell him, man.
Oh, I think I called it "Why Horror is Scarier with Guns or Weapons,"
Cool.
Something like that. Basically, what I did was I was arguing against non-weapon stealth games. The kind where you just sit and hide all the time. So I spent like 12 minutes and 15 seconds explaining my position, and people seem to like it. There's a lot I gotta fix to make it better, but for a first video, I think I'm good.
That's a cool statement to make. I like that.
Yeah, that is really well, and that's you know what? That's actually something I want us to talk about later in the show, because I would love to get everybody, because I'm a huge horror game guy, and I would love to get everybody's opinions on that later on in the show. But
Okay.
let me.
Did you want to hear what the second one was? Because I'm working on another one already.
No. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. This is what I'm actually working on. What I'm really working on is the next one's going to be called "What if BioShock was a bad game?"
Oh,
So,
okay.
You got me. I'm interested already.
Okay. All right.
I'm hoping to be a little like I'm gonna accept that we all like BioShock, we all think it's a good game, and then we're just gonna ask questions about certain mechanics, and then
You
there'll be
can
a part.
time it. You can
there'll
time
be
it with the
more-
release of the Bioshock
Yeah,
remake.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
should put it out on September 12th just to get
Yeah,
everybody
sure,
with a
I'll-
bad
I'll
taste
wait
on their
for-
I
mouth.
want you to
I'll
do
wait
a
for
video
months and
called
months.
"Why BioShock 2 is a bad game."
I'm never gonna make that
No,
video.
that's because-
it will be
No.
literally the Bioshock 2 one. The tentative title for the Bioshock 2 one is Why Bioshock 2 is the best one.
Yeah, I didn't like 2 when I first played it, but I want to go back to it because I think I was wrong.
That's unfortunate because you were absolutely right the first time.
Like,
And-
like I said, like I told you guys, I wanted to make. I think I told you this like last week or something. I want to make sure that all my videos are something that nobody else could be making. So hopefully every single one is actually like thought provoking, even if you don't agree. And I'm getting a lot of comments that are like, "Well, I don't agree. I think that blah blah blah. You need to do this for horror." But I'm okay with that because like I don't need people to agree with me. Like Fatal Frame is a great horror game, and I didn't mention it at all in my video, which is actually a mistake of mine. But whatever.
Okay.
It's weaponless. So.
Yeah, I guess I'll cool on the. Brandon in chat says John's keyboard is the 8th guest. I'll cool on the typing. If I need to say something, I'll tap it out on my phone. If
Them cherry
need be.
blues.
I realize that my I've got a Yeti microphone, and like when I say this thing picks up noise, like this thing picks up noise. So I'll cool it.
You have a mechanical keyboard though, right?
I do, yeah. So I guess I don't have a chiclet keyboard.
Doesn't really
so,
matter, yeah.
But okay, Brandon, what are you playing this week other than Overwatch?
No, I put down the Overwatch because a
Whoa!
very
Oh my
very
god, are you feeling okay?
It's
very special
Prestige.
game came out this week by the name of Star Ocean Integrity
Oh,
and Faithlessness.
Oh,
Let's hear it.
I
I
believe-
want to hear this.
Faith-
I've been waiting for this.
faithlessness?
I wish I liked it. I wish I liked it. It would be so easy to like it because everyone else other than the reviewers seemed to like it. But I'm with the reviewers.
Is it really that bad?
It's pretty bad, man. It's like it.
I was about to get it, and
So-
and you
yeah,
had
so, like-
terrible impressions
So
from it.
Star Ocean 4 is generally a disliked game, right? Would you say that? 'Cause-
Yeah. I would agree
Yeah.
with that. I mean, the last one I
Yeah.
played was 3, and I haven't heard nothing but bad things about 4.
I mean, I love Star Ocean 1 and 2, and 4 was disappointing, but not as disappointing as this. I mean, like I mean that's what you're gonna compare it to, because Star Ocean 4 was disappointing. So is this as disappointing? And so like the biggest change is the battle system. They went from 4 characters in a battle up to 7. They almost doubled.
7
They almost
characters.
doubled the controllable party members in a single battle.
Well, hold on.
to the point,
Hold on. Wait. 7 characters playable at once in the same battle?
yeah, 7 characters in a battle at the same time.
Whoa! How the hell does
Yeah,
that
How long
work?
do the
Dead
battles
serious.
take?
Oh, they're super fast. 20 seconds.
Oh, okay.
30 seconds. Yeah. I mean,
With
yeah,
7
they're
characters,
over
you
as
can have,
quickly
like,
as
what,
they've always
2
been.
healers, like.
Yeah, you can have 2 healers, but so you have 6 that are controllable and 1 that is permanently on AI.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
it's technically it's like 6.5. I don't know, but either way, it's just the camera is worse than any other pretty much worse than any other RPG I think I've ever played. It bounces all over the fucking place. It's like a return of the PS2 days where nobody knew how to do cameras. But I went back, I watched videos of Star Ocean 4, and the camera in Star Ocean 4 did not do that. It did not bounce all over the place. It managed to track what was going on. There was only 4 characters. They had less to go. It's a disaster. They fucked it up.
I saw some
Wow.
gameplay. I saw some gameplay, and it just that game just looks like a
Rough.
butter and ham disaster.
I mean,
Like,
yeah.
it
So the
just looks
graphics are bad, but that's like, I mean, yeah. It has a lower budget than Star Ocean 4.
Plus, I love the sound. So I don't know if you guys saw, but Brandon put this sound clip or a video clip from the game on his Twitter feed, and one of the characters, dude, the voice acting in this game is legendary. Like,
And
Is it?
like again, that's not even like my big like.
I
it's,
know,
you know,
but man, I couldn't.
I-
You huge idiot! I was like, wow.
yeah, it's
Like,
it's bad. It's bad. It's bad like PS1 era.
It's like
bad.
I should have been the one to fill your dark soul with light.
But
bad.
that's
Like,
fine. I
it's-
mean, I love Star Ocean 2. I think Star Ocean 2 is one of my favorite games on the PS1. It's one of my favorite RPGs, and that game's voice acting was atrocious. But it was every RPG in the late 90s was atrocious for voice acting. But so I can handle that. If Star Ocean 2 has terrible voice acting, I'm not going to hold that against Star Ocean 5. But it's just like everything. It comes up short in every single area.
I'm so sorry you spent $60 on it.
I don't think it's
Damn.
worth it for any price. Like
Yeah.
it's just not a good
Oh
game.
wow.
I'm sorry, man.
Like I wouldn't recommend it
Oh,
for
man.
when it goes on sale. It's just why would you play it? And
That's-
my opinion is very much in the minority of people who actually did spend $60 and are playing it. Because I posted my I posted my thoughts on NeoGAF, and boom, 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 every person disagreed. And I was like, all right, man, you guys enjoy your fucking 5 out of 10
well,
games.
that's NeoGAF for you, dude. All right. Well,
Whatever.
we'll ask Steve what he's playing this week, and then we'll get into another topic. But Steve, what do you actually have you played anything at all this week, Steve? Because you've been gone.
Yeah, I was sailing, and we hit some bad weather, so
Yeah,
I'm actually back earlier.
You
than
Sailing?
you almost died. You want to talk about that for a minute? Because you almost died.
That's like a real life video game.
Yeah.
yeah, not really.
No, just
It's
go
like-
with it, roll with it.
Yeah,
You
go
almost
with it.
died.
You almost
What
died.
happened? I
Let's
need
hear
to
it.
know.
He
I need
was
to
playing
know.
Assassin's Creed 4.
So I was playing the sequel to Black Flag, and no, we hit a storm that had like 80 mile an hour winds. We were offshore, right as where the Delaware Bay meets the ocean, just south of Cape May, and we were hitting waves that were like 15 to 20 feet high. And
Awesome.
we,
You
for
know, it's
those who are
shark
familiar
infested
with,
water.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
we saw at least dolphins.
Cape May is close to my people.
It was
That's
not.
crazy, man.
It was not fun. Yeah, if anybody's familiar with sailing, if you know what weather helm is, that happened, and we were fully prepared to go into the water.
Weather
So
Helm? Did you say Weather Helm? Isn't that a town in Skyrim?
It's it's what happens when you lose control of the boat and it shifts. It's actually picked up out of the water.
But
the winds were
also-
strong enough for it,
But
That's
also a
frightening,
town
man.
in Skyrim.
but also a town.
There you go. You know what would have been
Yeah.
like the height of irony, Steve? What if your boat had washed up on the very island that Square Enix was going to give away for Just Cause 3?
Bring it full circle.
What if that
Awesome
was
idea.
what if that was
That
was
old
the way
lady
the
that won
story
the
ended?
prize is out there drinking beers on the beach.
What if you washed up on that island and then whoever won it arrived like a week later and you're just sitting there on the island?
Dibs, man.
Oh, that would have been, dude. That would have been fantastic. But we're all glad you're okay, man. Have you had a chance to play anything at all this week?
Yeah, I just got The Witcher. I was playing today. I'm about 5 hours in.
Oh, wow. Nice.
The most overrated game. In the history
Oh,
of games.
wow.
No,
Yo, even I don't think that. I didn't like The Witcher 3.
Great
Holy
visuals.
talk
good
shit
game.
about
Great
it.
visual. Okay, well, hold on now. Hold on. Great visuals. I love.
Here it comes.
it-
Here it comes. The
You're-
voice of a Souls fanboy right
Okay,
now.
no. Hold on.
Kyle
No,
seems like he wants
continue.
to say
By all
something.
means,
No.
continue.
I know. I will continue. Okay, because Witcher 3 combat compared to Dark Souls combat is like, dude. There's
Why? Why are you doing this?
because
Yeah.
it's the truth. Because it's the truth.
It's like
Okay.
two different
And-
style games.
but
You're crazy.
They're
man.
completely
Witcher
different
3
games. Stop.
Witcher 3 combat is like Dark Souls combat if you
oh,
dropped it in a blender full of peanut butter and then peed in it. Okay,
It's
that's
more
Oh my
like
gosh.
Witcher, it's not. It's fucking Batman. It's more like closer to Batman combat.
yeah.
I
If
agree.
Bat,
You sound like
if Bat,
me
if
right
Batman
now.
didn't know how to fight, then yes, it would be much closer to Batman combat. Kyle looks like he wants to say something. Kyle's getting mad.
No, I'm not. I like anytime someone can say a popular game that everyone loves isn't for them. Obviously,
You're
personally,
gonna love me.
yeah, this is great.
Yeah, you will.
I'm only like a third of the way through The Witcher, and it's something I go back to because everyone I work with loves it, you know. And so it's a thing you're supposed to play if you're in the biz, basically.
Oh yeah.
And so yeah, that's my relationship with The Witcher right now. I just did the bog. I just saw some bog witches, and that was pretty cool. But,
Oh yeah. That's pretty
the
much about
crows.
where I stopped
Yeah.
playing it.
Yeah,
The crones.
Hey,
there's definitely some crones.
real quick, Kyle. Real quick. We got a
Yeah.
guy in chat, Anchorman V2. He's got his own channel, and he's only got a few minutes, but he wanted me to pass a message to you. He says, he sent me a DM on Twitter, and he said, "Tell Kyle he was
Okay.
an inspiration for me with his show Final Bossman. I appreciate his work."
Wow. Okay.
So
That's really super nice.
So yeah, he wanted to. He wanted you to know that, and I wanted to make sure that he heard me say it before he had to go. So,
Sure.
but yeah, no, Kyle, seriously, man. Like, if there's one thing that's not lacking on this podcast, it's really out there opinions on some games.
That's good.
And
That's a good thing to have, I think.
the more you like for example, like I played about 20 hours of The Witcher, and I got to the part I got past the Bloody Baron, and I got to the part where like I'm at Kaer Morhen, and I just like put the controller down and I stopped. I was like, I don't care.
That
Like,
is exactly where I stopped.
yeah, I was like, I don't like the combat, and and Geralt runs to me like, dude, for some reason I can't stop him from like zooming off a cliff, or like, you know, or running off a bridge. Like, and when you turn around, he does like this big 360, and I'm like, why do you turn like that, Geralt? Why can't you just turn around and walk the other way?
I got 2 questions for you.
Why? It doesn't make any sense. Like if I went outside, like let's say I went outside, I took a walk in my neighborhood, and I turn around like Geralt, people would be like, dude, that guy's stroking out. What's wrong with him?
John, I have 2 questions for you.
Okay, what?
Okay, here's question number 1. Why haven't you enabled the alternate movement options that mitigate
The obvious.
Yeah,
question.
that's the number one.
Well, okay,
And number
because
2,
I don't care enough.
2, why do you like Red Dead Redemption, which has far worse examples of this?
Because John Marston can beat up Geralt.
Any Grand Theft Auto Rockstar game.
I
Yeah,
never.
any
Rockstar games
any Rockstar game handles like complete trash.
Yeah,
That's hands
I'll
down.
give you that.
So to me, like,
But the
it's
combat
weird
is so
to hear
much-
somebody
but
complain-
I
I don't-
hate all of you. I hate all of you.
like I mean, I don't know. I feel crazy here. Like I'm the one who actually likes the critically acclaimed game, and you're all hating on it. This is terrible.
I certainly don't hate on it. It's just not
I
for
like
me.
it.
Yeah, that's
I think it's
different.
good.
I'm not going to
Okay.
take advice from a man who thinks Uncharted 4 is awful.
Uncharted is awful.
Oh my lord.
There we go.
There it is. Yeah.
Do we have any
I'm not gonna do it. I'm sorry,
slow
Doc. but
news
You're
week,
wrong.
huh?
You're wrong.
I unsubscribed. It
That's
was the
bait.
reaction.
I'm gonna unsubscribe to this podcast in a minute. No, but so what I want to do now, real quick, horrible opinions aside, is I want to ask Kyle real quick. So I kind of asked Mike the same thing, Kyle, when he was on, and I'd like to find out kind of like how long have you been in the business and where did you get your start?
Sure. I got my start in a weird spot. I was a QA tester at Activision.
Oh,
What was the shittiest game that you had to play test?
It was the first game. It was my first day. I walked in. I'm all excited to be a tester. I'm gonna play video games. This is gonna be cool. Guitar Hero Van Halen was my first game.
Nice.
Ooh.
So I listened to Van Halen songs all day long.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's
for months and
awful.
months. And then it turned out to be a free game. You know, when we were testing it, it was gonna be like, this is gonna be a big deal, guys. And no, it's like they gave it away for free in the end.
It was like the least important Guitar Hero release.
Yeah, it was. It absolutely was. Yeah, that was probably the worst.
They made a much bigger deal out of Metallica.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Metallica worked. I think it sold, and so they're like, we've got to keep doing this with more bands. And Van Halen is the one they picked.
Oh, it's so bad. That is so bad.
Yeah, and so I did that for a while, and that's a weird job at that level because I was never an internal tester. You know, I was never part of any studio. I was just part of Activision as a publisher in the tests that they would do. And so it would be on and off. You know, when a game is done, you would be unemployed until the next game popped up. And it was that for a while. And then I worked for this company called I Am 8-Bit, which is still around.
I know that. Yeah,
they do. Yeah, they do albums. They do like cool like limited releases of games. They do posters and art, and they do art shows, and they do events and stuff like that. And so that was cool. I worked with them for a while, and then that led to this position, this opening at GTTV, which was a TV show Game Trailers used to have on Spike. That would air Thursday nights at like 1:30 a.m. It had the worst time slot, but it was cable TV, and I was super stoked to work on it. And I was a production assistant there, and I would like work on segments and do the closed captioning and.
Oh, that
them
was the one with
some
Daniel
things.
Kaiser, right?
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and Jeff Keighley hosted it and everything. It was cool.
Yeah.
It was definitely. It felt like working on television, so it felt really exciting to me at the time. And that led to eventually getting my own stuff on GameChillers.com, and that led to everything I am today, basically.
That's awesome, dude. That's
You all,
cool.
all to Activision shovelware.
I do, yeah.
Although, after having, you know what, after that experience, I'm surprised you even still play video games. Like that might have crushed them for me if I'd had to play Guitar Hero and listen to Van Halen songs all day. Like that might have been it for me.
It was weird. I mean, I was still very hyper motivated at the time because I just moved out to LA. So I would do work, you know, I would do creativity work at night, but I'd also still play games. I'd still come home and play RPGs for hours, even after my job was playing video games. It felt good. It felt good to be there at that time.
Awesome. Well,
It's a good young person's job, I would say.
Yeah.
QA.
That's a great way to put it, man. And we're obviously we're really glad everything worked out for you. And I like to think that everything that has happened has led you on the path to this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all
so
here. This is the moment.
This is it. This is it. Like there's no surpassing this. I'm gonna break it to you gently. There's nothing above this.
We're doing journalism today.
We are. No, not on this podcast. No, sir.
Urinalism.
Okay. We're doing yogging. I think it's a soft J. Yogging. Yes. But so I want to ask you guys a question. And anybody in chat is feel free to answer this too. Who here has been able to try PSVR?
Oh, I did.
Al, you did, right?
I have
no.
Okay.
I've only tried Oculus DSK2, like the promo, the alpha one.
Okay.
I tried out a Virtual Boy at a Toys R Us when I was a kid.
That counts.
Oh, yeah.
I'm surprised you're not blind.
Everyone at GDC told me that I could go ahead and skip PSVR. Wasn't worth it. So that's
I'm gonna. So you know what? I'm gonna give my quick impressions of it, and then I'd like Kyle to give his, if you don't mind, Kyle, because I had the chance to try it this past weekend, actually. And my really quick observations. One, the headset itself fits really well. Like I'm not kidding. Like it's extremely comfortable to wear. You don't even really know it's there. It doesn't pinch. It's not too tight. It's not too loose. It's really well designed, and it feels really solid too. I played Eve Valkyrie, I think is the name of the game. And so like the guy sat me down, and the funny thing is the VR rep who was there, he put the helmet on, and I reached up. Al knows what I'm gonna say. I reached up to try to adjust it. He goes, no, I'll do it. And I was like, okay, I'm sorry, like my bad, dude. And so he's sitting there adjusting his helmet, and every time I felt like every time I tried to like instinctively reach up to touch it, I could feel him tense. He's like, and I was like, dude, I'm not gonna touch it. But he started it up, and I'll say this: the load times to start at these games, whoa! I sat there for 3 minutes waiting for Eve Valkyrie to load, and I was like,
3 minute load time.
Yeah,
holy shit!
I was like,
that's ridiculous.
I was like, wow! And I'm sitting there in the VR chair, and I'm like, and I actually said to the guy, I was like, so immersive, man. And he was like, well, it's just taking a minute. But once it starts. It's actually really cool. I did notice some of that screen door effect. You guys know what I'm talking about. Where it looks like you're looking far away through a screen door. You got kind of those grid squares. But the game itself, like the motion, or I guess what's it called? The tracking technology that you walk looking around and looking at targets. Like it works really well. The game is very responsive. It does not look, and a lot of people have said, "Oh, these VR games, they look like PS2 games." No, they don't. Eve Valkyrie looked really good. I don't see myself being able to actually, and I think this is VR's biggest problem. I don't see myself, and I'm a hardcore gamer. I play for 3 or 4 hours a night. I don't see myself sitting around for 3 or 4 hours a night with this headset on. I really, really don't. I'm sure some people do. But I'm wondering what the market share for this thing is really going to be. It was cool. It was immersive. I looked around. It was a little disconcerting to look down and see that I was a chick. I was like, oh, all right. I was like, okay, interesting. But I mean, other than that, I mean, it was cool. It didn't blow me away or anything, but I thought it was really cool. Kyle, what did you think?
So I played 2 games. I played Arkham VR, Batman Arkham VR, and I played Resident Evil 7.
The one that people got sick on.
Yeah. I almost did too. I couldn't tell if it was just because everything you see is disgusting in that game. Because I hate scary games. I just hated being in that house, which is cool. It's a cool feeling, It's cool to feel the horror of being in a haunted house. Graphically, though, RE7 looks just like bad. It looks straight up bad. You put it on, and you're like a little surprised by how bad the textures are.
Is it going to look bad if you play in 2D?
I don't think so.
Oh, on your TV screen, you mean? Or you mean like on the
headset? VR versus just a regular game.
Yeah, if you're playing the regular version.
It's way worse in VR than it is the regular version.
All right.
Yeah, that's kind of
they had to like dumb it down, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's almost you get over it because we've all played games before from the past. You do get over it. I just I guess I like looking around a lot, and I think that's a weird thing to explain the value of VR. But when I was playing Batman, you pop open your piano. You're in Wayne Manor, and you gotta like type some piano keys to go downstairs into the Batcave.
That's pretty cool.
What you can do is you can just put your face straight up to the keys and watch your finger press them down. And
That's cool.
yeah, you can like look under the piano. And for someone like me who likes to explore in games, just having complete control over your perspective means a lot. I mean, other things like the Move controllers probably aren't the best, especially compared to the Vive controllers. Like you still see your hands like jut around sometimes and like end up backwards. At one point, I had two
That's
right
the
hands.
perfect. You got it now.
Scary. Scary.
Yeah, but for the most part, it's good. I mean, I was moved emotionally from playing Arkham VR, just by how close it felt like to be Batman. To look in a mirror and it's like Batman moves like I do. It's a hard to explain emotional connection to a game.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I loved it. I really loved it.
Did you feel tempted
like
to
I said,
like?
I've never played anything in VR, and I just can't even comprehend really what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's exactly. You got to try it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you have like Kyle, like was it immersive to the point where you started thinking to yourself in Batman's voice, like this is awesome.
Yeah,
I'm really enjoying myself.
though to be honest, like when you are Batman, when they put the mirror in front of you, I was dancing, not like Batman would dance, but I just wanted to see what he was capable of.
You were
And it's
doing the
good.
Bat-CC?
Yeah, it's good. He'll dance with you. Like the game's willing to let you dance as Batman. It's cool.
That's
Did you
amazing.
try doing a
Game of the year.
dab?
A little dab. I don't know if you
Yeah.
could do the dab. Yeah.
No.
That is worth the price of VR admission to me. Just to dance as Batman. That's amazing.
They were like, cause like it was just there were like buttons and things that would pop out, and you got to like slam your fist into it. And I would kneel down on the ground and try to get an alternate angle on that thing. And at first, the guy was a little concerned. He was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! Just stand up, just do it." But then they were into it. They were into me kind of like looking around and seeing everything you can do with this. Just throwing batarangs around, and like the idea is most people throw them at the targets, but you can just look around the whole place and throw the batarangs wherever you want to, and your sweet grappling hook gun can just shoot wherever you point it at, and it's just fun. It was open in a weird way. I liked it a lot. That demo, at least.
Now, from what I've heard, the actual game is going to be like an hour long, right? Like
They said an hour and a half,
It's
yeah.
more of like an experience than it is a game.
Yeah. And what was interesting actually is the Rocksteady guys were there at the Sony booth and very willing to talk about this. They said we are a one game studio. Once we finished Arkham Knight, this is all we've been working on over the past year.
That's so crazy.
That is very crazy. Another thing that I thought was interesting is they themselves have no idea what it will cost. They don't know. They don't know how much to charge for something like this. And they asked me, they're like, "What would you pay?" And I said, "It's probably not a good idea to do this for 60."
Yeah, no.
But I said 40 is probably not bad because they already have people spending a lot of money on VR, so they're going to spend a lot of money on whatever they can play on their VR systems, you know? Even if it's an hour and a half, I think 40, I don't know. I would pay 40 for an hour and a half as Batman.
Sure.
I'm sure most people would pay 20. 20 is probably the right price for it.
Yeah, I would say. Well, and so like I guess so. Here's my question. As immersive as Batman was, that would have been. I wish I could have gotten the chance to play that. Like, since you did play the Resident Evil demo, I'm curious. Like, was it actually scary? To be
Yes.
like even with the muddy textures and the like how scary was it? Would you say?
It was terrifying. I don't.
That's awesome.
I will never play it like that. I will never, if it's in my own like, if I can choose, I will never play that in VR because of how scary it is. But I do love the idea of being able to look around your shoulder at any moment. It's good.
That is cool.
There's
That is really
that part
cool.
at the end where you're about to leave the house, you know, and you're like, "Oh God, something's gonna come up behind me," and so you come up to the lock and you can like look behind you in an instant. And so I was kind of like staring backwards the whole time while moving forward. Just cool things like that. Of course, you get into a locked video where the guy does sneak up behind you regardless, which is kind of cheap.
Welcome to the family, son.
Yeah,
It was cheap. That was cheap.
Like I am one of those guys who like I don't know about you guys, but if you haven't played the Resident Evil 7 demo, there's this thing where people, especially on GAF, are convinced that there's some kind of secret ending in the demo that nobody has found involving the dummy finger. And I don't know if you guys have seen this thread, but people I highly encourage you to go to the Resident Evil 7 demo thread and look at some of the insane theories that people are throwing around to get this ending. People are literally saying, well, Resident Evil 7, there's 7 boxes with the number 7 in the house. So if you go visit every box and then you walk up the stairs 7 times and then you walk down 7 times, then you pick up the phone and put your back against the wall and do like a moonwalk down the stairs so the family man doesn't come up behind you and grab you. And I'm reading this. I'm like, guys, I don't think there's anything left. Like I think
I
this
don't think
is it,
there
man.
is.
But
I really think there's no ending to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I am actually really encouraged. Like I said, I'm a huge Resident Evil 7 fan, so I am actually really encouraged by the direction the demo took. Because I didn't play it in VR and I thought it was scary. Like I was like, man, this is something else. I thought it was really, really cool. And apparently there's like a lot of people have been asking whether or not there would actually be like Resident Evil style combat in the game. And if you look at the actual E3 reveal trailer, you can very clearly see whoever the protagonist is, I don't know who it is, aiming a gun at somebody. But it's not like your typical first person shooter. Like there's no reticle, you know. You just aim the gun up and you're looking down the iron sights like right down. So it almost seems like old school, like OG Resident Evil, but just in first person, because it seemed very slow and methodical and not, definitely not like a first person shooter, much to Doc's chagrin, I'm sure. But I am really, really looking forward to Resident Evil 7. And if you haven't played the demo, I highly recommend you go play it. It's freaking awesome. And I just want to point out, I feel like I've done a pretty good job keeping my language in check this episode. I don't think I've said a single swear word. Really
Is Bossman easily offended?
No. I just wanted to do a podcast where I didn't swear once, and so far I'm doing a pretty good job. I'm sure I'll slip up at the end of the podcast.
Well, all those colorful adjectives you called The Witcher 3, I'm sure there was an F-bomb.
There probably was. There probably was. So I want to I want to ask you guys. And this is kind of, I guess, talking about Doc's video. Since we're talking about Resident Evil 7, and since we're talking about since I just brought up combat in a horror game, if you haven't seen it, Doc made a really good video. He talked about it briefly, called "Why Horror Games Are Scarier with Weapons." And I wanted to see what you guys thought, and I wanted to see what everybody in chat thought as well, because I don't necessarily agree.
Okay.
I agree and I disagree, but I don't want to. I don't want to talk first. Who wants to take this one first? Because
can I just mention one thing?
Yes, yeah, dude, yeah. Go.
At the very end of the video, I said it's not really about weapons at this point. It's about proactive play. So,
Yep.
the entire point of the video was me showing that weapons essentially encourage you to take action that keeps the game interesting, and the hiding or running in Outlast or whatever does not do that. So that's really, for me, it's not about weapons. You could totally play Fatal Frame and have a camera that, that's not a weapon, it's a camera, but
yeah,
it's still engaging. So
yeah, it's still essentially you're like you said.
Well,
you're
it's a very
engaging with
special camera.
The spirits. That's right.
It's
magical.
But I would argue that the scariest game I have ever played, the 2 scariest games I've ever played, neither of them had weapons, and that would have to be PT and Outlast. I mean, Outlast terrified the hell out of me. Like I literally, I had to put the controller down and walk away at some points and come back later. There's a point in Outlast, and if you haven't played it, there's a point in Outlast where you're walking down a hallway and you hear this. You hear
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that hallway, and you're walking down it. Shut up.
Yeah.
But dick. But you're walking down this hallway and you hear this guy grunting, and then you come onto this door and there's a guy jerking off over a pile of dead bodies, and I was like, it freaked me out so bad I had to walk away. And the crux of the game is hiding. Like you're completely defenseless, and that to me, like if I've got a weapon, I'm less scared because I've got a means to fight. I can defend myself. But if all I can do is hide like a squirrel, no offense, JT, under a desk or under a bed and pray to whatever god I worship that this thing isn't gonna flip the bed over or look under the desk. Like, dude, if that's it, that to me is far scarier. Far scarier. I'm with you.
For me, it's not a matter of scariness, because I'm not a huge horror game fan either, like Kyle. It's a matter of keeping me engaged if you have weapons, that gives you a more varied approach to different situations as opposed to just hiding or just running, because that gets boring to me very fast. And I like the option of, oh, I can run, oh, I can, I'll fight this guy, like that's what Doc's video meant to me. It was like keeping you engaged and excited about the game, not just like getting bored with it.
I don't know.
Well, they do that.
Go ahead.
Doc.
Go ahead.
Doc, what would you categorize like QTE type stuff? Would that be, even though they're
The most horrifying of all.
That's it.
would that be weapon, or would that be weaponless in your analysis?
I mean, I think it would have to depend on like how engaging the QTEs are and how they work. Like an insta-fail QTE would just bore the crap out of me.
Yeah, Resident Evil 6 had QTEs.
Oh,
that weren't
God.
great.
But if you had QTEs like you fail a QTE and that like breaks your leg and now you're like walking away slowly from the monster because you failed the QTE,
You remember
that would
that?
be like
You remember the
way
one
more
in
interesting.
the one in RE6 where you have to like look for the keys?
Yeah,
and,
you're
like,
looking for the
Oh,
keys.
okay,
And you get,
yeah,
it was the
yeah,
worst.
yeah.
That's the
So
worst.
fast. So fast.
Look at me in chat. It says Dead Space was good scary, and I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Dead Space was
I have
good.
a little
scary.
bit to talk about on this subject.
Let's
if
hear
you
it.
don't mind.
Let's hear it, man.
I kind of agree with Doc in the fact that, and JT, I guess if I have a mechanic that can fight back against this thing that's horrible in this game, I do like horror games. I did like PT. I liked Amnesia, and also another game that you don't have weapons. But on the other token, I liked Alien Isolation, and I really liked Dead Space, and I think I like those more because it gave you that carrot of, if I can find something, I might turn the tides. But I don't know if that makes it a better horror game, but it makes it a better experience for me, keeps me more engaged. I don't know. I think maybe having like a terrible gun that you find like early in the game with like one round of ammunition, and you can hear all these noises around you, and you're like, oh shit, like, do I use that one round on myself? Do I use it on the thing that's coming at me? I mean, that'd be a cool mechanic. I mean, not to freak anyone out on the chat or anything, but that might be another level of tension that Doc might be like trying to experience, trying to get people's reactions with. I think that could add to it.
Well, like here,
Yeah, you have something that you're aiming for. You're progressing through, always trying to better yourself instead of just like trying to keep yourself from something.
Well,
Yeah.
let me add something real quick, and I don't want to ask Kyle what he thinks. I thought Al brought up a great point with Alien Isolation, and I think to me, okay, Alien Isolation got a lot of hate from a lot of people, and reviews on it. I mean, they were good, but I mean, there were some. There
It had a long section and not a lot going on.
So, and that was my biggest criticism of Alien Isolation, was the fact that it was a 25-hour game and it should have been a 10-hour game.
Yeah, but you could have cut all the hours without the flamethrower at the start, and it would have been better.
Yeah, and I'll agree with
Expanded
you
the
on
space jockey scene. The space jockey scene was the best scene in the game.
But like the thing about Alien, the two things about Alien Isolation that got me is, like, one, it was just this like, the alien itself was almost too smart. Like, the AI on the alien was nuts, and it did something that horror games usually don't do, in the fact that the alien could appear at any point. Like, it wasn't scripted. Like, the alien could just pop out, and scare the crap out of you. But the weapons that the game gives you, and I think this is a perfect marrying of Doc's ideas in the video. You've got that revolver, and it is next to useless, right? Like, unless you're shooting at a human, which you only do a couple times in the game, that revolver does nothing. Even if you're shooting at one of those, dude, even if you're shooting at one of those little one of those androids,
The working Joes.
Yeah, the working Joes. Dude,
those guys are basically invincible, right?
That thing, the working Joes, and that's a whole other conversation. I could have done without the working Joes, but the weapons in the game were pointless, and even with like those face huggers, like if you pulled your freaking your 6-shooter out and you shot the face huggers, the sound, of course, would alert the alien, and the minute you did that, you boom 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 through the vents, and the sound direction of that game was phenomenal. But I thought Alien Isolation was a game that did both. Like, it empowered you, but at the same time, you didn't. What the game gave you was the illusion of power.
That's my ideal.
Yeah, and that's what drove me to beat Alien Isolation. It was scary as hell. Like I was literally sweating probably the moment I started the game till like the last 5 or 10 minutes of the game, because there's a pretty awesome end sequence.
It really was.
But yeah, like, and that was just it. Like, oh, I can do this. I mean, I have the tools, but maybe I can make it around this. Whereas like Outlast, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't make it through the entire game. I gave up about 3/4 of the way through because I was like JT, and I was like, God damn, how many lockers am I gonna hide in? How many beds am I gonna hide underneath? And the guy's gonna search the one next to me, to the left, to my right. I don't want to go like try to work my way down to another set of rooms and try to, it just got tired to me.
Dude,
And that's what takes me out of the experience too. It's like it makes it more of a game and less of a you're trying to escape from
yeah,
things or
exactly. It had such a strong opening though, but like once you beat that, like cliche, not I wouldn't say cliche, but once you beat that, once you come over that
it's a
take
very
or that
gaming
tell,
thing.
it's like you're gonna do that again, you're gonna do this again, and it's the same thing again. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. We'll let Kyle weigh in his
Yeah,
opinions on this.
I really want to hear from Kyle on this.
Sure. Well, I'm a very anxious person,
As am
so
I.
I hate
As am I.
hate all the games like that. But to me, there's a difference between games that give me the heebie-jeebies and games that really push my anxiety. Like heebie-jeebies is PT. Just where in my gut I feel so uncomfortable, I don't want to move forward. Outlast is there too. I had to play it because of a bet. Otherwise, I would never play Outlast. But a game like that gives you like high anxiety. I think it's when you have a weapon, when you control your own fate, when you could fail or succeed based off how well you perform. I get that. That's way different, and that's really when those are the ones you beat. That's to me, Bloodborne was terrifying. It really got my anxiety off the charts. And that one is, there's a ton of combat in that game. Just when you're deep into an environment, when it's so creepy, you don't want to be here. Everything is nasty and gooey. And then there's a boss fight coming up, and it's been so long since the last time you were at a checkpoint. To me, that's like the peak of my own anxiety, which is good to challenge. It's always good to challenge your own anxieties. Most of the time, I choose not to, though.
Well, Kyle, it's interesting you say that. I've actually suffered for really my entire life from generalized anxiety disorder. So like one form of therapy for me is actually like just jumping into the thick of those situations and get my heart rate up and because I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe I'll be better equipped to deal with this if I just subject myself to it. It's normally not a very good idea. Like when I played PT and I was like, man, how scary can this possibly be? And that
horrible
moment when you turn the corner for like the fourth time and the lady's standing there in the hallway like this.
Oh my God!
And like the hallway light goes out.
That night.
I picked up my phone and I called my wife upstairs. My wife is a big gamer, by the way, Kyle, as well. And she says, hey, I said, hey babe, you should come downstairs for a minute. And she was like, why? And I was like, I just miss you, and I really want you to come downstairs. If you could come downstairs, that'd be great. And she came downstairs, and she's like, what's going on? I was like, I want to talk. I missed you. And she looks at the screen, and she's like, are you scared? I was like, no. No, I just want to snuggle you. In fact, I want you to kind of snuggle me. And she just laughed and walked back upstairs. And I was like, oh God.
Oh, she left.
She left, dude. She left me. She left me. She left me alone. She can't like I can do scary, but she can't do scary at all. Like I made her watch Alien. Like she lost a bet and she had to watch Alien. And that part in the vent where Dallas is in the vent and the aliens coming at him and she's and it's getting closer to him, and then he turns around and the alien's like blah in the screen. She threw the blanket off and she's like nope, and we got all pissed off and walked out of the room.
I don't blame her.
You know, my reaction to that scene was laughter, and I fell asleep while playing PT. So I'm a very strange person.
Doc, that's just because you're just a hard ass, man. What can I say? Doc might as well be Daredevil. He's the man without fear.
Games don't scare me, but movies definitely do.
Movies and games both like worry me. That's the best. That's the best way to describe it. They worry me. They really, really do. Like I mean,
maybe it's because I'm in control of games, so I feel like I know what's gonna happen. I know that I'm gonna beat the game.
Or are they in control of you? No, but
That's so ridiculous.
it is.
Nope.
No, but I, like at any rate, I thought Doc's video. I thought it was a really cool idea, and I thought it was a really
Awesome video. Looking forward to the next one.
When is your next one, Doc?
So I think one of the big mistakes I made was putting a time on it, so I don't want to do that on this one.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, I what happened was
Soon.
Yeah, for health reasons, I basically ran out of time, and so I shoved it out the door, and I could have made it better if I hadn't shoved it out the door. So I will say that I'll complete the draft this weekend. I have to do a piece for Kotaku still, waiting to hear back from the editor on that. So
Nice.
I'm focused on that for now, but I will focus on BioShock after that. So.
And we're gonna actually get into BioShock here in just a minute, but I wanted to address something that Kyle said real quick. Kyle, you said you played Bloodborne. Did you get to the area? And you said it scared you. I thought the game was incredibly unsettling, and I love the really Lovecraftian kind of eldritch horror thing it had going on. Did you get to the Hypogean jail, where like those guys who carry the big sacks?
Yeah.
Like the first time it kills you, they stuff you in the bag.
Pronunciation of that area.
Yeah.
But he said it with confidence. It sounded good to me.
Hypogean.
Exactly.
It's Hypogean. Go and look it up. Hypogean jail. And you wake up and it's the only area in the game with background music outside of the bosses. It's got that low, really demonic chant. And as I was going through, I was like, man, this is just turned into a straight up horror game.
And what I love about that area is it
never
removes
felt
your
like that.
home. You can't go home at that point.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, if you die,
You
you're.
can't go home.
Yeah, dude. When
Mom can't come pick you up.
Mom
Take
can't
you out
come
for
get
ice
you.
cream.
Just- Man, now you guys making me want to go play Bloodborne again. I'm going to start a playthrough as soon as we're done here.
It takes absolutely no effort to do that.
It really doesn't. Oh, by the way, and you know what? By the way, if speaking of playthroughs, I didn't even talk about what I'm playing this week, but I want to tell you guys real quick. Resident Evil 5 looks really good on PS4.
Oh, nice.
I've been playing that this week, and it looks
Cool.
It looks really good.
Game gets a lot of grief from people, but man, I loved it.
It's
I
a
thought it was
hell.
awesome.
You know what, dude? It's a damn sight better than Resident Evil 6 ever could be. So, I take it for what it's worth. It's not a perfect game, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So I want people in chat to start coming up with some questions for Kyle.
There was a couple up there, up at the top. I got to scroll up.
Yeah,
Let's all scroll up.
Al, could you do me a favor and kind of get some of those questions and kind of throw them together for me?
Sure.
I would appreciate that if you could do that.
Yeah, no problem.
But I wanted to get into. So who here has seen the trailer for the BioShock collection? Or as I like to call
it,
it,
this morning,
trailer.
yeah, the poorest kept secret in video games for the past 5
man.
months. But
Yeah.
I want to know who's making it. Don't say 2K because it's
Oh,
not just
it's
2K.
Flying Dolphin or something
Who?
fucking crazy.
Oh, weird.
I never.
Hold on, I'll look it up.
That's
Wait,
a shame.
Well, I'll tell you-
no, they've done other stuff in the past.
Well,
though.
I'll tell you what.
Okay,
There were some comparison pictures. Like the new textures look really good. In
Oh
OG
yeah,
BioShock.
for the first 2 games, they look awesome.
They really, really do. And I don't know if you guys had heard this, but I guess all 3 games are running at 1080p and 60 frames a second. Which,
Blind Squirrel. It's Blind Squirrel.
Blind
Entertainment.
Squirrel.
Blind Squirrel.
Hey,
what have they
that's
done?
That's
They
a
did
good name
Disney
for a
Infinity
developer.
3.0, Evolve. They specialized in ports, but they did Disney Infinity, Evolve, Sunset Overdrive, Borderlands 2,
Sunset
XCOM.
Overdrive.
Dude, for a second, I thought you said they specialized in porn, and I was like, why are they doing a BioShock
best.
remaster?
Yeah,
That doesn't make any
They
sense.
do a lot of
They do all
VR
sorts of
stuff.
What they did for Sunset Overdrive
Oh,
was
what?
UI, art implementation, environment effects, general gameplay functionality. So I mean, like they're an outsourced studio.
So here's the thing about BioShock, and I want to ask you guys what you think about this. So the release date for BioShock Collection is September 13th. That is a busy month. September's a busy month.
The more I was thinking about the announcement today, not sorry to cut you off, but there's a lot of negative things I had to think about this. The price is a little ridiculous.
It
The
is a little.
timing is absurd. That's a
Yeah.
terrible time to have a remaster. But I don't know if you really want a BioShock game or you never got a chance to play like Infinite. I know like Hoj in chat, Jesse, he hasn't had a chance to play Infinite, and that's a good. That's
It's
a
the
good
best BioShock game. The best.
It's my
BioShock game.
favorite too.
But
Unpopular opinion.
yeah, I was expecting a horrified outcry from somebody on the panel. But
Oh, we've talked about this already. You
Yeah.
can go back and look at all these episodes.
I'm just saying. But so when I saw September 13th, I was thinking to myself, in September you have September 30th you have Final Fantasy 15. Supposedly, we'll see. I mean, I guess at this point there's no going back, but I almost feel like that game coming out in 2 months is too good to be true. And then you've got Deus Ex right before that. You've got the Destiny expansion, Rise of Iron. There's something else coming out in September, and I know I'm missing it.
It's Yokai Watch 2.
Oh yeah, it is Yokai Watch 2.
Boom. I know you're gonna play that.
There's got to be something else though.
Yeah, I'm gonna play YOLO Watch. You guys remember YOLO Watch? But and that's the thing. Like Kyle hit the nail on the head. I feel like I'm missing something. I feel like what the hell was that?
I don't know what that was either.
It sounded like
watching this on podcast on my phone.
Oh,
Sorry, guys.
okay. It sounded like a pig for a minute. I was like, what is that? But
we sound like pigs.
Yeah, if anybody check and help me out, I know there's something else that's big that's coming out in September. But I'm with Al. This seems like a really weird time to release it. By like as beloved as those games are, just due to the Skyrim remaster. That's what it is.
Okay.
The Skyrim remaster comes out like the next week.
Did you mention Forza Horizon 3?
No,
that is coming out.
That's a good one.
That too.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Forza Horizon 2 is the best reason to own an Xbox, so I can't wait for 3.
Like, the BioShock games they're amazing. Like, except for 2.
Yeah.
Like, BioShock and BioShock Infinite are amazing games.
I like them all.
But here's my question.
Recore also.
How did they Recore too? I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure about Recore, man. But
at least, but Recore's at least priced accordingly.
it is. Yeah, it's a $40 game. But like, I mean, how do those games sell? I mean, did the BioShock games sell a ton? I mean,
I think Infinite did.
Infinite might have. Yeah, I think you might be
I
right.
think the original sold a lot as well, didn't it?
The original had like 3 million sold by the time BioShock 2 came out.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and so somebody in chat says Skyrim is October, isn't it? No, it is. So the release date for Skyrim Remastered is September 28th. You might be thinking The Last Guardian. The Last Guardian comes out on October 25th. I still can't believe we're getting that game this year. Like
Last Guardian.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny
Crazy.
is that when I saw the release date, I automatically and Kyle, you got to figure I was going to bring this up at some point, but I harkened back to that E3 you guys did. The old E3 of Dreams. When you had The Last Guardian and Final Fantasy VII Remake and Shenmue 3 all in one night.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I jumped up on my table the same time you did.
Yeah, my boy Brandon over there was literally in tears for Final Fantasy VII Remake. I was close.
He's shaking his head.
Oh yeah, no.
I was. You have no idea. I was fucking losing it.
Yeah, Brandon was losing it. That was actually like
I was there in spirit with the game trailers guys by myself in this bedroom alone.
Yeah,
crying.
I think like an important part of that is forgetting where that game was. Like a year prior, IGN Russia said the game was canceled. It was like the rumor was it was just gone, and so for it to really appear again, that meant something. That was cool.
Yeah, no, it really, and like I just loved your guys' reaction, and I said this when Mike was on the show, and I'll say it again, because I was watching your guys' live stream. It was weird. I had you guys on my Kindle, and I had the Stanley Cup playoffs. Or I had the Stanley Cup Finals on my TV because I'm a huge Blackhawks fan. I'm a big hockey guy, and I was paying more attention
Let's
to.
go Blues!
Shut up! And I was get off the podcast. And I was watching. I was paying more attention to you guys on my Kindle than the Stanley Cup. And Vicky, my wife, she was like, why are you not watching this? I was like, because I'm watching Kyle Bossman stand on a chair right now. Okay, I was like, I have to see this. I gotta ask, like obviously none of that was scripted, but like, what was it like in that room? Like, because you guys had no idea any of this was coming. I mean, there were rumors floating around on Gaff, but you guys had no idea. So like,
I still didn't believe those rumors, man. They were too crazy. It was too crazy to believe.
Out of control. Too out of control.
Yeah, but so like,
then the Guardian had the rumor that the Last Guardian was going to be there. We're like, what is the Guardian?
I know Shenmue 3 was the hardest one for me.
That was the one for me.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah, and so I gotta ask, like, Kyle, like after you guys wrapped, like after you guys went off the air, like what were you guys like? What was your reaction? Like, what were you guys talking about? Were you like, I can't? Were you just like, I can't? I can't handle this.
I remember I remember when Huber had to leave that night, giving him a hug, you know? And that was just the weirdest. That was like we went through something. You know what I mean? Like that hug was like
Yeah.
we just had a great night. You just got married. It was that kind of hug. Like congrats, man. You know, it was that kind of thing. It was a really strange feeling. And what's weird about that is I don't know. I don't ever want my job to be reacting to things live. Do you know what I mean? It's nothing I'm like proud of performing. You know, it's nothing I wrote or that like I've rehearsed or anything like that. And so it's weird that, you know, that's what people connect with the most, but in a way that's sort of the most honest thing you can do is just be there live and react to something live.
Because
I guess that's why people are so into it. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's like they see themselves in you.
Yeah, so that's cool to be. It's cool to be that.
So, like, I got to ask Kyle, and this is for everybody on the panel as well, like, you know, what did we think was a better E3 last year or this year for Sony? Like, which one was stronger, do you think? And I think
I'm gonna say this year.
Yeah, it's a tougher question than people think it is.
I think I'm gonna say this year.
Simply because, and you know, Kyle, I would agree with you. Simply because the only game we're gonna see this year from last year is The Last Guardian.
Yeah.
You know, like I do like we're not playing Final Fantasy VII remake until late next year at the earliest. I don't.
Yeah.
Think.
We're also seeing Gears 4, dude.
Yeah, Gears 4 this year. I mean,
I can't wait for that. You know that I have my Gears addiction, so.
But yeah, like I don't know. What do the rest of you guys think? Do you guys think Sony had a stronger E3 last year as opposed to this year, or do you think this year the focus was just? Do you think it was just a tighter show this year?
Personally, I think it was a tighter show. I watched Kyle at home, and I agree with his comments. I think they talked to us like humans finally for the first time ever at a trade show, at a gaming exposition like this, and that's a nice thing to have.
Well, there wasn't a lot of talking.
There was like he
Kyle
talked about it. I mean, you can talk about your episode, Kyle. Hype it up.
Yeah, I mean, I did a show about this. You know, where just like I talked about. It felt different. We've never seen a press conference like the one they put on. It was a show. I mean, it was in a theater with a live orchestra already. That's
crazy.
Yeah, I guess Nintendo had a live orchestra in the past, but never handled this way. You know, never just handled it. Just it seemed smart. It seemed like they don't care if you don't get it. You know, it just seems like we're all here to celebrate what's happening. And I can see where that'd be a problem. We're all celebrating commercials. We're celebrating trailers. But to me, I'm all on board. I'm cool to celebrate trailers because I love this stuff. I love announcements, and I love treating these games like they're events. And I was all for it. I was way in.
As do I. What about the rest of you? I know Brandon is really what I want to hear from because last year Final Fantasy VII was a big deal for him. But Brandon,
it's literally impossible for anything in video games to top that. Final Fantasy VII is my favorite game. It has been for 20 years, and I've been anticipating a remake for probably about 12 of those. So, it's just there's too much build up to it.
It's a perfect trailer too.
It was it came right after the PSX troll. Like, so it's just there's too many perfect things that lined up.
I knew what
for
it was.
Me personally.
Yeah. Well, I knew what it was the second that kid slid down the slide and he had the Buster Sword and you had the green glow in the back, and I was like,
I feel bad that I didn't notice the live stream.
Yeah, well, I was like, that is the slide from Sector 7.
I noticed the live stream.
Yeah, I didn't. I was
freaking out.
I thought it was funny that the thing that we've been waiting for a long time, that we've kind of like known about, the Crash Bandicoot thing, was one of the worst parts of the conference.
Oh yeah, hands
kind of
down.
like, okay, here it is.
And it's just remasters, and I was like, oh, all right. Well, yeah, I thought that was obviously, and the thing is that, you know, Sean Layden, and I like Sean Layden. He came out there and he made the big deal with the, you know, Crash's shadow, and he's like, no T-shirt this year, and I was like, oh man, here we go. And then he's like, remasters, and I was like, oh.
Did people really think there was going to be a new Crash game?
I did. I did. Well, I mean, after Ratchet and Clank, yeah, I did.
Yeah, I thought it was at least believable.
I really
the idea of one.
I thought remaster was pretty obvious.
Well, and the thing is like, you know, I like Crash Bandicoot, but this attachment that people have to it, I'm like, it's a tower. I mean, it's a Temple Run game. I mean,
Uncharted 4 was the first time I've ever played a Crash Bandicoot.
That was still the best Easter egg of all time.
It probably is. I don't know.
Absolutely.
I had no nostalgia for it, so it was just a really shitty platformer.
So
I think that's a good point, though. I'm not sure a remake is the right way to go because I'm not sure those games will hold up. They're not Mario 64, you know.
No.
They are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're not. They're not.
Yeah, they're really, really not. But
Please be excited for Skylanders.
yeah. No. But and so anyway, what we'll do now is we'll. I know we've got plenty of questions for Kyle. And Kyle, as long as Kyle doesn't mind answering. You know,
Just as long as everyone else feels good to chime in. I feel weird that there's 7 of us and only I would answer.
Oh,
the
please,
questions.
no, trust me. You Doc
Okay.
Doc at the very least will chime in whether you want him to or not.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I won't be talking much tonight.
Okay, well, I still want you to chime in, if you can. But you're kind of like the Jason Mewes of this podcast. You're the J to Steve's Silent Bob. I like to say.
So Steve.
Silent
Here I
Steve.
am.
Yeah. Whenever Steve doesn't talk much, but whenever he does say something, like everybody shuts up.
Yeah.
So
It's that microphone.
So who's got the questions? Al, you got them?
I put a list on Discord. So the graphic god wants to know why the Bossman is so well dressed in his videos.
Oh, good question.
Yeah.
Oh, I can definitely answer this question.
Sure. Can I tell you, it was hard for me to decide. I was doing do's and don'ts for the Sony reveal press conference thing, I guess like 3.5 years ago now. And basically, there were a lot of decisions to make because I knew that would be the video that I was on the internet for. You know, I was like, I'm sure this will get at least 10,000 views because anything you put up on GameTrailers.com at that time did. And so like, oh my gosh, I got to figure out how to be me, what my persona is online. And I'm like, do I wear my hoodie? Do I wear a tie with a hoodie? That's one thing I thought about was like, maybe I'm a guy who wears a hoodie and
The
a tie.
Jay Allard, pull off the Jay.
Nice.
The
Yeah,
Jay
exactly,
Allard,
yeah.
Yes.
I don't think I would have worked if I did that. I think
No.
people would have been really put off.
No,
And so
think
I
you
was-
I think you made the right choice.
Yeah, I like asked a lot of people at Game Trailers, like the editors. I went back to the editors and said, like, what do you think I should do? And they were like, suit and tie, man. You're sitting at a desk, you got to wear a suit and tie. And so really, yeah, I can't claim ownership of that. That was a collaborative focus group.
Yeah, but it's kind of like your trademark now. Like people say, John, why are you wearing that stupid beanie? And this is actually Cole's beanie from Infamous Second Son. I got it with the special edition. And at this point, like I've
Does it
ordered
give you
almost.
the powers?
It does. Yeah, it really it
I have
does.
to ask. Don't laugh.
But
I'm being serious.
wait, what was that?
I said don't laugh. I'm being serious.
What was the
It's like-
question? I missed
No.
it.
Does
Like
it give
me,
you
I wear
powers?
my Vitas.
It does, but it doesn't give me the powers you would expect.
Oh.
But yeah, like I've worn this thing. I've worn this thing all pretty much like since the beginning now, and now I would feel weird if I did a podcast and I don't have it on. So yeah, I'll always have the beanie on. What? How about somebody else jump into Discord and grab a question for Kyle? JT, why don't you go, man?
Oh, okay.
You got them all right there. Just make sure you read the person who asked it.
Got it.
Oh, I
I'll
see. That's
delete
cool.
the stuff. Yeah, I'll delete the stuff that
Oh,
is just me
Jesus.
talking.
Okay,
There, just go for it.
Yeah,
And I have the
grab
people's
one.
name at the
go
beginning.
for it.
Okay. All right. So Enrique wants to know, Kyle, do you think the Neo and the Scorpio are a good thing for the industry or a bad thing?
Ooh, okay. This one we can all chime in on for sure, right?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Neon Scorpion.
We've covered it in detail, but yeah.
Yeah. I listened to the last episode of this podcast where it was just said we're not talking about these things.
Oh, that's because like 2 weeks ago we spent the entire
episode
Yeah.
banging our heads
It
against
was-
the wall over these.
It was painful for me anyway.
I'm flattered.
I've,
I'm flattered you listened to the last episode, though. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, it was good. I'm gonna say good. I've come around to them. My first reaction was repulsion, but
Mine
I've definitely
too.
come around.
Yeah.
I'm seeing them as like a necessary thing that's just going to exist, and if it makes more money for the industry, if it makes the consoles more viable going forward and stronger, then whatever. Yeah, you know, it sucks. It sucks for people to feel left out, but I gotta trust the business call, and we'll see how they perform. I think they'll both do well. I think they'll be good.
I agree. Yeah, I think
Can I
the
chime
need.
in?
Yeah, Doc, go ahead, man. Yeah, go ahead.
I think the most exciting thing about this prospect is the idea of games that persist over multiple consoles without requiring having a full chipset inside the console to emulate or something. I mean, I like my old PS3, but I would rather be able to play all of my PS1, 2, 3, and 4 games on one box. It's one of the
Hell
reasons
yes.
The
Oh,
rumor,
that'd be so awesome.
well, and the rumor is you'll be able to do that on the Neo, if I believe.
Well, it's one of the reasons that I am primarily a PC gamer. Is I can play games from 1992 just as easily as I can play games from, next week.
Yeah,
Or in one case, a game from about 2 years.
and that's a
from now.
great point. It really
So for
is.
me, like the idea that games can be preserved over time, they're still playable. They don't become obsolete. Like, there's no way for like anyone to play the game that is probably my white whale, which is Panzer Dragoon Saga, I think. Yeah, the RPG.
Yeah.
Like, I want to play that game. I don't want to spend $700 to play that game, though.
It's worth it though, Doc.
I know that it's worth it, but I mean, $700 like that I could just go to the hospital with that kind of money. I'd rather do that.
I've got concerns about like I think the Neo's going to do fine. I mean, obviously the Neo is directed.
Neo's what?
What's that?
Yeah, you cut out for us.
Okay, hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. No, so sorry, I don't know what happened there, but I think the Neo's going to do fine, especially because I mean, basically, it's going to come in at $399. That's the general consensus. It's going to do fine. It's aimed at a very specific audience. It's not aimed at the casual mainstream, and the mainstream of gamers are casual. They're not guys like us. It's aimed at the hardcore, the people on this podcast, the people in chat. The vanilla PS4 will obviously get a price cut, probably down to $299. I actually, if the Neo comes in at $399, I'm guessing $250 for vanilla PS4. And that is the model that's going to continue to sell to the mainstream. The Neo is going to be an enthusiast device, just like the Scorpio. I do have my concerns about the Scorpio being announced 18 months before it came out, or before it's scheduled to come out, and I do have concerns about it being too expensive, because we have lots of evidence from the past to show us that consoles above $500 do not sell.
I think Microsoft knows that too. I think the reason they announced it was just because they are losing, and they're losing the PR war, and they needed a good win. Their game selection this year was not that great. I mean, it wasn't that great last year either. One of the games got canceled in their year of best games ever. So, but I think Microsoft needed sort of some kind of PR win, and that's the only reason they announced it so early. And I'm pretty sure they know that they have to keep the price down. So I think we'll see a $499 box at most.
I really hope so. I really, really hope so, because my wife's not going to let me get a Scorpio if it's anything above that. Anybody else want to chime in, or do we got another question?
I think we've kind of
So
let's chime in. Go for it.
Okay, so I'll I'll go ahead and read another question then.
Okay.
So Mr. Chun asks, so he's got a question for Kyle. I'm really enjoying Bossman at Home. What are the plans for your solo channel moving forward?
Plans for solo channel are next to none. Much like Doc just said, like, I don't want to put a date on my next video. I absolutely hate doing that. I like to throw away videos that aren't coming along well. And so, yeah, I want to do whatever I want with my own channel, and that's what I really like about it. I want to do whatever I want with Bossman at Home, and that's very freeing. There's no expectations that I have to abide to, and that's kind of why I did it. That's why it's not part of Easy Allies. It's just my own thing that I can goof around with. It feels good.
Awesome.
Cool.
Guys, a great answer.
I'm going to pick one out here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Good Kush says, what was your favorite game at E3 this year? I know we kind of talked about this last podcast, but I wasn't there, so I didn't get to input my opinion on that. And I think somebody did say it on my behalf, but Shred from Ubisoft was really cool.
Oh, cool. That's
that action sports game.
Oh, that's that snowboarding game?
Yeah.
Wait, Steep.
Yes.
Oh, Steve. That's okay, Steve.
Shred.
Yeah. You know the funny thing is like I was like, Shred. Yeah, the skiing game. I just assumed it was called Shred.
Yeah, Steve. See, that's kind of a bad sign that I can't even remember the name. But no, I thought that looked really cool. Like, just being able to chill out on the mountain and do whatever you want. Like, go put on your wingsuit and just fly. I thought like that together with like Spotify or something would be really, really cool to play through. So. But yeah, what was your favorite E3 game this year?
It's not an exciting answer, but it was The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
A worthy
Breath of
choice.
the Wild.
A
Yeah,
fair
Breath of the
answer.
Wind.
Yeah.
The Wind.
Yeah,
Is
Breath
it
of the Wind.
Breath of the Wind. Okay.
Colors of the Wind. It was good. I mean, it's the only thing I wanted to do at E3. Just day one, I got to go in there. And no matter how long the line takes, we just went straight to Zelda. And gosh, what a demo! Just great demo. I would love more demos like that where it's like
Awesome.
go nuts. The whole world is here for you. Just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And that's great. That's a great way to demo your game because everyone left with a great impression from it.
And Link has a voice.
Wait,
right?
What?
Doesn't
He's
Link?
always
I heard
He's
something
always
about.
had his grunts.
I
Yeah,
know,
he
but
has
I heard that Link. This was just a rumor. I didn't play it, but somebody told me that Link had a voice actor. Is that not true?
Not in what they showed. There is a
Okay.
voice actor who says Link, wake up. So there's voice acting in it. There's
Okay.
Yeah.
we think it's Zelda. Zelda's telling Link to wake up.
Okay,
So there's voice acting in it, and it's not bad. It's cool. Yeah.
awesome.
The jump button is huge. Just
The
gosh,
jump button
the
is,
jump
is
button.
massive.
yeah,
Okay,
it's
cool.
great. It's refreshing, and it was just presented so well. What a way to do E3. Something only possible at E3 is what Nintendo pulled off, and I really
Yeah.
totally appreciate it.
Yeah.
Plus, I just love watching the gifs of people literally stampede to go play Zelda.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah,
Guy
the
doing,
rush of
guy
people
doing the
coming
fucking
in.
praise the sun.
Yeah,
out there.
Yeah,
I
praise
praised
the
the sun on
sun.
the lower right.
I
That was
love it.
awesome.
I love it.
So I was hyper aware of that when I was there. I knew there would be somebody shooting the line as it went through. So on that first day, I tried to put on my coolest, most professional face and walk at like a sturdy pace. Damiani, one of my coworkers, just sped straight ahead. He's like, "See you guys." But I tried to like look like I'm a professional. I represent EZLS. I tried to like look cool as I walked forward. And I ended up like an hour behind him in line. Wasn't worth it, but it's cool. You gotta pay to be a pro, I guess.
So
That's cool.
we'll do a couple more questions. Does who else wants to grab a question out of Discus here? If not, I'll do it.
Okay, I got it.
Ibuki
Hold on,
says,
stand by. Let me take a look.
How does
Yeah,
how does it
you
feel
know
to
what?
rub?
Let Brandon ask. Let Brandon. It's
Somebody
Brandon's
should
turn.
ask Ibuki's question.
It's Brandon's turn. Brandon, ask Ibuki's question.
Have you played Mirror's Edge Catalyst, Kyle?
That's not
I
Ibuki's
haven't.
question, but
Can
What?
we? I guess like the
Who gives a
conversation to
shit?
have about Mirror's Edge Catalyst is the power of meh. When you ask someone how is it and they say meh, it turns me off so hard. If they said it sucks,
Yeah.
I'd be more encouraged to play it. But meh just kills a game to me, and I'm
I
hearing
have
meh.
a game for you, Kyle. It's called
Yeah.
Star Ocean Integrity and Faithfulness.
It's true. It's true though. I'm still curious to try it out. I'm still curious to see like, is
Well,
the camera that bad? You
the,
know what I
review,
mean?
the reviews are the review and public opinion is divided on that game. So
Yeah, but it's just poor Mirror's Edge is meh, and it doesn't get talked about. It just kind of is gone already. It feels so
it's
bad.
already gone. Yeah, it's already gone.
That's such a shame. Such a shame.
Yeah.
They really needed that sequel like
I
3
feel like
years
people
ago.
people will still be talking about the original Mirror's Edge after
Yeah,
Catalyst is
abs-
completely forgotten.
Absolutely.
Kyle, I'll tell you this: if you want a bad game to play that's so bad it's good, get a few friends that you know will make you laugh, sit down together, and play Ride to Hell Retribution, and then.
Oh yeah. Pretty much about this.
Wait, Kyle, I have a question. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Has Ben Moore played Star Ocean yet?
He's playing it probably right now. He's trying to live stream the whole thing this whole week. Every minute of the game, he's trying to live stream it.
Okay, because I respect it. I
Yeah,
want to know what he thinks of it because I respect his opinion.
I don't
about
think he's
the-
hot on it. I think he's probably going to give it a bad score. I'm not sure, but I don't think he's too hot on it, to be honest.
Okay, and I will ask a question from Ibuki. Ask Kyle how it feels to rub Cheetos on his face.
It hurts. It feels bad.
This is a reference I don't get.
It's just a thing I did for the final bossman
Okay.
last year. Cheetos on my face. It stings afterward. You wash it off, and your face still hurts.
Oh,
It's
that's
not good.
terrible.
It's
I'll,
a-
I'll make sure to never try.
Doesn't
Thank you.
sound
Don't do it.
pleasant.
I you know what? It's not a good sign that you would like something you rub on your face and causes it to sting is something that you would actually ingest.
Mhm.
Like that to me is frightening. Although I will say this about Cheetos, you guys have to try the mac and Cheetos.
No. Are you serious?
No,
Oh.
I'm telling you right now, the mac and Cheetos is where it's at.
Did you have one?
I
Did you
had-
try that?
I tried
From Burger King?
I tried the mac and Cheetos.
Oh,
Oh,
How are they
snap.
made? How do you produce that?
You know what? I'm sure it involves either voodoo and or Satan. So I'm not 100% sure. I don't want to know, but I can tell you this much. It's not actually a Cheeto. It's covered in Cheetos dust. It is.
Okay.
It is
So it's like the Taco Bell
like-
Doritos.
Yes, the
shit.
Doritos.
a little bit.
Silica
So
Smash.
it's
It's
mac
not
and cheese.
actually-
It's basically fried mac and cheese that they, I guess, throw just in a pan full of Cheetos dust, and they shake it around. And right now, they look nothing like in the commercials. You pull them out, and they're these big, glorious. They look like orange cheese sticks. No, sir. When you pull the mac and Cheetos out, they look like, imagine like an old man's finger if you painted it orange. Like that's what it looks like. I'm not lying.
Man's finger.
Will this finger give me the alternate ending in Resident Evil 7?
They do not look at. So like I pulled these things out and I was like, do I really want to do this? Yes, I do. So I ate it, and it was a borderline religious experience. If there's a Burger King near you that has the mac
Is that a
and
fucking
Cheetos,
foghorn? Are we coming into port?
I have no idea what that was. But
Yeah,
if you go to Burger King, if you got one near you that does the mac and Cheetos, go do it. I'll only have one box because anything after that will probably kill you. But I'm seriously tempted to go to a doctor after I ate those because I don't think I have any arteries left. But my God, they're worth it. So we'll do one more question for Kyle here. Ken Rule A09. Ken Rule A09 says, I just want to know why Kyle has a huge dislike for the Link of the Past. Has he ever played it all the way through?
Okay. Do you remember at the beginning of this podcast, I say I love it when anybody hates on a game that everybody loves? I think I enjoy hating on that game because everyone loves it. No game should be free from criticism. And so, yeah, I'm willing to fight the fight against A Link to the Past. I think the first time I played it, it was my senior year of college. I downloaded it on the eShop onto my Wii. And I think I was just in a bad time and just was not feeling it. I got to where Link has like 3 spells that just like shake the earth and like electricity kills everyone on the map.
I know. Yeah. Classic.
Yeah, kind of classic, kind of like inappropriate. I don't know why he's this powerful. And so basically I stopped around there. I said, you know what? I don't even care how this ends. I've done enough temples. I was not invested at all.
A Link to the Past had an amazing ending for its time.
It did.
Yeah.
It really, really did.
Like for its time, like there was no. That was at a time where we're coming off of video games that just said congratulations.
Congratulations,
So, like,
you're a winner. Yeah. Like.
Yeah. So to go from Zelda 2's ending to Zelda 3's ending at the time was.
It was huge.
I mean, the game's legacy speaks for itself. But I'm just saying for its time.
Yeah.
I played A Link to the Past in its time, so I don't really.
Yeah, and
I
that's the
can't
thing. Like, if I went back and tried to play A Link to the Past now, like, I'd probably play for about 5 minutes, and I'm like, no, I'm all right.
I haven't played that game in like 22 years.
There
so
are
I don't-
there are games in that time period I can play right now, like Chrono Trigger, for example, or Final Fantasy VI. I can play all the way
Chrono
through.
Trigger has great endings. Chrono Trigger's endings are endings.
Chrono
and
Trigger,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah,
You won't-
characters
no,
you care about and stuff
I
like
will
that.
I will not argue with you whatsoever. Chrono Trigger is my second favorite game.
Speaking of
Yeah.
Chrono Trigger, July 16th, I am Setsuna. Ooh,
I'm in.
son.
I'm
I am
in.
in day
Yeah.
1 for I am Setsuna.
Already
You know what a
pre-ordered.
huge sell for that is? Is that it's not that long. When they say 20-hour RPG, I said,
That's
okay,
awesome.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
why,
on
that's
board.
why I bought Star Ocean.
These-
Like, oh, it's only it's low budget. It's only 20 hours long.
These
Yeah.
days, I am all about a short, which is why, like, when I hear that Final Fantasy 15 is going to be 50 to 60 hours, I'm like,
World of Final Fantasy is 100 hours.
That's why Firewatch
no.
was amazing.
Firewatch
doing
wasn't.
this?
Kyle, did you ever play Firewatch?
I've not played Firewatch.
Highly recommend
It's
it.
really funny. Yeah, it came out the week I got fired, and I was like, gonna play. And then I was like,
oh,
you know what,
yeah,
I'm
that's
not
no
gonna buy
good.
any games right now.
That's
That's no
fair.
good.
That's
That's-
fair.
So I
Yeah.
still have to like go back and play it. I really do want to play that still
It also
because I like walking simulators. I like that kind of game.
Yeah, I was gonna. that was
You
my
probably
next
want to be
question.
in a pretty emotionally stable point in your life to play Firewatch.
Ooh, I'm not though. I'm definitely not.
It deals with some heavy themes. There's a
Okay.
lot going on there to process.
I will say this: it also has what is the finest PlayStation 4 UI theme available. It is
Sure.
it is the best. It is the only theme that I've seen. It's a dynamic theme. It's the only theme I've seen that in the morning it's like it's like the sun is rising on your theme, and then like during the day it's just like the sun is high in the sky, and it like the theme changes according to your system's clock.
Whoa.
It's amazing.
Got some good Ollie Moss art in the
Got that
background.
Ollie Moss
and-
background. Yeah,
and
nothing.
Jake Rodkin guitar going in the
It
background.
replaced my
It's
Final
awesome.
Fantasy VII theme, and I have not looked back once. Not once. Not even Uncharted. Not even the Uncharted 4 theme. I
I'm
put that on
still
for
rocking the final. I'm so sick of hearing Aerith's theme. I can't even tell you.
and it's still there.
That super low bit rate recording of Aerith's theme.
And it's still there.
Oh, well, I love
Actually,
the background, and I love the clicky sound.
Oh yeah.
But I hate hearing Aerith's theme at like sounds like it sounds like it's coming out of an AM radio.
It really does. It's not good.
It's just not good quality. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll. It's been about an hour and a half, and we usually go about an hour and a half. So we'll go ahead and we'll start the wrap up here. Kyle, I would ask you. You know what? I'm going to ask you to kind of pimp Easy Allies anyway. Everybody in chat should absolutely know what Easy Allies is, but just on the off chance they don't, why don't you go ahead and talk about that for just a second?
A lot of people don't. I'm still finding people just discovering Easy Allies, so it's always worth talking about. Basically, a lot of us who got fired at GameTrailers.com regrouped and formed a new group that makes videos about video games and podcasts about video games and streaming video games, and we're called Easy Allies. And we are Patreon funded, which means if you go to patreon.com/Easy Allies, you can see what we're about, see what we're up to, and also see how you could support us. And that's it. Yeah, we're basically doing everything we were at Game Trailers, everything we liked at Game Trailers. We continue to do, and
without the evil corporate overlords.
Yeah, without all the goodness without any of the restrictions.
You went out there again at the end.
Yeah. It's been doing that a lot.
Yeah, I don't. If you guys can hear me, I don't know what's going on with my mic tonight. It's weird.
I don't want to say our overlords were ever evil, but it's good. It's good to be doing your own thing for sure. It feels nice. It feels different when a person even subscribes on Twitch to you personally. It feels much different than like they subscribe to Defy Media. It's different. It's a way different feeling. It feels great.
Well, it's because I mean, really, they're subscribing to you. And it feels much more personal. I think, right? Yeah. Which is really cool. Whenever we see somebody, we're not one of those podcasts that chase. I don't ever care if we reach 1,000 subs to that. I don't care. But every time somebody does sub to us, it feels really personal because it means that somebody has taken the time and enjoys the podcast.
He says he doesn't care, but you should have seen him when YouTube killed all the spam.
Hey, dude, that was a lot of subs. We lost 50 subs. I was like, what? I was like, come on. You got to be kidding me. But in all, that was a little irritating. I was like, oh man, come on, that's a lot of.
Or when we didn't get credit for that leak.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That bugged me. That bugged me.
What leak? What'd you all leak?
So we actually leaked. Actually, does somebody else want to tell the story? I've been talking.
Yeah, we had Shinobi on, and we were talking about We were talking about Bethesda, and he mentioned that they had a remaster or something in the works, and we were like Skyrim, and he's like, yeah.
Cool. Well, and everyone seems
it.
well connected on this podcast.
Yeah, well, so and the thing is, Kyle, is that he dropped it on the podcast, but of course, we don't have a huge audience. And then like a month and a half later, he dropped it on a podcast with a much bigger audience, and it got thrown everywhere. Like IGN was like, oh, this podcast, and I was like, oh man, that sucks. And Doc was like, nope. And so Doc's reached out to Eurogamer. He was like, you misattributed to the source. And IGN and Eurogamer actually edited their article to mention us.
GameSpot didn't give a shit.
GameSpot didn't care, but it was pretty cool that we were acknowledged as the origin of the rumor. But yeah,
seeing the name out there was just like, oh wow.
It was pretty surreal to see Super Deformed Gamescast in an IGN article. I will say that.
That's why when people are talking about the San Diego Comic-Con on Twitter, they do SDCC. I think it says SDGC. And I'm like, oh dang it, somebody was talking about
close.
us.
I may or may have not taken a screen cap of that IGN article and ran to my wife and said, "Babe, look, we're on IGN." I'm not going to confirm whether or not I did that. But I got nothing. So anyway, we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. Kyle, I want to thank you, man, seriously, for coming on our humble little podcast, dude.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, man. For anybody in chat who doesn't know this, for a long time, for the longest time before I started this podcast, I was a big fan of Kind of Funny Games, and I was a big fan of Mike Huber and Kyle Bossman on Game Trailers. They were doing Game Trailers at the time. And those two shows were my inspiration for kind of starting Super Deformed Gamescast. And so to have first Mike Huber and now you on, Kyle, is like really kind of like the culmination of just something I've been wanting to do for years. And it's really surreal to have kind of one of the guys who inspired this podcast on. So seriously, man, like we really had a great time talking to you, and you're an awesome guy, and all the best with Easy Allies, and just awesome to have you on, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I always like going on podcasts so people realize I'm nothing special. Like when you say, that I inspired anything, I always feel like a fraud. You know what I mean? I don't feel like an inspirational person. So it's good to be a human on a podcast. I like it.
Yeah. No, we really appreciate it. I'm all fanboying out now. Thanks again to everybody in chat who showed up. We really appreciate you guys coming on board and hanging with us. Does anybody have anything?
I want to say one thing.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
One thing. The anime references that you did for your wrap up on the Neo, Scorpio, and the NX was genius.
Nice.
Absolutely genius. And I barely watch anime, but even I got it, and I was in hysterical laughter. The NeoGaf cat, first of all, I have a soft spot in my heart for cats. The NeoGaf cat was fantastic. And the voice you gave for it is just amazing.
I'll tell you a weird thing, and something like we talked about where I don't put dates on the shows. I wrote that and recorded it and did all the drawings one night, and then I got a good night's sleep, and I said, this sucks. And I kept the drawings, but then redid the VO and redid like the setup, and I think it came out way better. It was fun to do. It was freeing. I like doing things like that.
That's timeless, man. That's so good.
That's definitely awesome.
Well, no, it's not really timeless because it's already out of date. It's already,
I know, but just the whole for like the time frame, it's so perfect for what happened.
Yeah,
it's timeless within a very specific time.
Within a very specific time, it is timeless.
It is timeless.
All right, and a quick shout out to Gabe, our fellow podcaster who is in chat. He wasn't able to join us tonight.
He's our fellow.
Yeah, what's wrong with your fucking mic?
Yeah.
Is it still cutting out really bad, guys?
It's been happening all show.
That's irritating. Honestly, I might have to get a better mic. I might have to get a new mic cable.
It didn't do that last week.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I might. Maybe my chair rolled over it or something. But yeah, I might have to get a new mic cable. I'll probably go do that tomorrow. Yeah. But no, seriously, great show. Thanks to everybody in chat. Gabe, sorry you couldn't make it. Quick shout out to Enrique, who is the host of the Basement Radio Arcade podcast, our sister podcast. He's in chat. It's live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. and Al and I are actually co-hosts as well. So please come and join us. And
one more quick little shout out.
Yeah, dude, go.
Look at me in chat. He's in a real bad way right now, and everybody. I think I speak for everybody when we say we wish you a quick recovery, buddy.
Absolutely, absolutely. No, seriously, like I don't know what's going on, man, but whatever it is, all the best. Absolutely.
Yep.
If there's anything any of us can do to help, I don't know what's going on, but please let one of us know. And because we really love our audience, we love you guys, and whenever something's going on with one of you guys, I take it personally. So that's just the way I look at it. Okay, cool, great show as always. It's not always poetry, and we don't always agree, but we always keep it real.
As always, dramatic pause.
As always. And we will be back live next week with episode 41. I don't know what you guys are laughing at. But anyway, great show. Thanks for joining, guys. Kyle, thanks once again. And we will see all you guys next week.